what's it like to get the call and you're getting those updates and you're heading towards like a legitimate firefight? Like what's going through your mind? Like I imagine there's like adrenaline coming with that.
Yeah, like it's, and I hate to use the phrase like training takes over, but like there's just so many different stimuli happening all at once because we've got three radios
Mm-hmm.
going on in our heads at all times, plus the communications between our crew. So like I can hear my pilots talking, I can hear my other gunner talking. I can hear the other aircraft talking. I can hear, the JTAC on the ground talking. I can hear air support coordination. I can hear the air officer. I can hear like so many different people talking. So I'm like constantly adjusting radios and trying to like cipher the information that's necessary at the time. So it's like radios going on here, and then binos here, and then my iPad here with like the objective area diagram on it and all the you know what I'm talking about, right? Like
Yeah, the GRG
all the
maps and stuff like that.
G's. Yeah, so it's like I've got like 17 different stimuli going on all at once, trying to put all the pieces of the puzzle together. And yeah, I mean we're like we're going through our maps and trying to get correlated from what we're hearing because you can get radio relay for miles. So
Mm-hmm.
if air support coordination is telling us like which compounds, which sectors, like where the fighting is going on, we're trying to build our situational awareness on the fly, even if it's like a 10-minute flight to where we're going. So like every second you're trying to build that mental picture of the battlefield so that when you get there, you know exactly what's going down. So
Can
it's
you
crazy.
can you talk us through the first time the aircraft you were in was actually involved in an engagement?
Yeah. Uh, it's like one of those, I'll never forget that time. And I was with, because I was still kind of like coming up in the training per se. I had a very senior crew chief instructor with me, and like I mean he was what I mean he was our daddy, and the dude like he was a water walker, and he was multiple tours to Iraq, initial push Iraq, and the dude was just the salt of the earth. So everything was just so smooth, and he and one of the more seasoned pilots were just putting things together so quick that all that myself and the other junior gunner, all that we had to do was just observe and communicate, and it was just seamless. And I hate to say that it was something of like a video game, but it was something of like a video game because you're up at altitude, and besides being crushed with radios, everything is just so fluid, and doctrinally, we're just doing everything that we could to like stay above reproach, because if something happened, I'm always going to ask the question like, well, did you do it this way? Did tell me about your final attack headings, like all this stuff. So it was it was also a kinetic mark too. They hit a compound with the GPS guided rockets. What are they called? I can't remember.
Oh, for
Uh,
the 2.75-inch rockets.
no. It's where they launch up into the stratosphere and it comes down.
Oh, HIMARS.
IMRs. Thanks. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. I thought you were talking
Dis-
about
discuss-
the laser guided ones for the. I was thinking
yeah,
laser guided for some reason. Never mind.
disgusting reservist. Yeah, HIMARS. It was the mark was a kinetic. It was a HIMARS strike on a building, and then it was a tree line just outside of that. Outside of that building is where they were dug in and they were hitting. I can't remember the unit, but there was tanks on the ground too. So it was just a lot going on, and typical. Hey, shoot this tree line, like.
Yeah.
So
What was that like
yeah,
to
I mean,
see a HIMARS for a mark?
oh, it was awesome. I mean, they leveled the building, and then there were tank rounds hitting around the tree line where the insurgent where the enemy was, and then we just peppered the tree line with 50 and mini, and there was KIA, and I think we had friendly, unfortunately we had friendly KIA as well, which is why they called the tick in the first place.
Mm.
But it was like I said, it's kind of like a video game going on because you're not there on the ground. You don't feel the high marge. You don't, you're not you're not seeing much of the small arms. You're seeing some smoke, but you're really just hearing like, the chaos on the radios, and then you're seeing, like, with a HIMARS strike, it looks cool, but you don't hear it, you don't feel it like you would on the ground. So it's just like poof, it's gone,
Yeah.
And then yeah, you don't. At that point, we didn't necessarily see the enemy. We saw the mark, and we were all correlated and everything, but we didn't see, bad guys, turn to pink mist or anything like that in that instant. But then when we got back to base, they're like, "Hey, we're getting a sit rep from them. It looks like there was, they took some enemy KIA, and like, good job." And we were like, "Okay, cool." Like, and then it was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go grab a ripid, and I'm gonna grab a nap, and
Get ready for work tomorrow.
yeah, exactly." And that's the weird part too, because when we get back to base, I'm sleeping on my mattress in the air conditioning that night. I'm going to the dining facility, the DFAC. I'm going to the chow hall, the cafeteria, whatever you want to call it. I'm grabbing, hot, cuisine. So, and like in one instance, in minute one, you're at the battlefield, and then 30 minutes later, you're grabbing cold drinks, and a couple hours later, you're hitting the rack, and it's just all the conveniences of the big PX are right there. It's crazy, man.
It's got to be surreal also when you like come off like maybe a wild mission or something like that,
Yeah.
and you go walk into the chow hall and no one knows. Everyone else is just another day in Afghanistan, and you just got done doing some like crazy shit, and it's like, man, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. We're on your way back, after that first engagement, because this is your first time. Like, I mean, this is like, that's the job that a lot of guys sign up for, is to be the door gunner that gets to go out and do their thing. I don't know. What was going through your mind on the way back? Were you contemplating the whole thing? Like, man, this was it. Like, I just did it. Like, I did it. Or were you just too busy working where nothing, you didn't even think about it?
Well, like, so personally, I was like, okay, cool. Like, I got to get more ammo in my can. I got to make sure all my, my systems are good. Like, what's next? What's next? And it was just the most benign, just chill flight. 10 minutes back to Bastion. It was like nothing happened. Radio silence. And I'm like, okay, it's over. And then when we land, his name's Ryan Layton. He's a retired first sergeant now, but he was like the crew chief godfather. And he's like, "Hey, I think we killed some guys back there," and me and the other crew chief were like, "Yeah, maybe." and he's like, "You okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay." He's like, "Debo, you okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm awesome." And we were just like, "Okay, cool. Anybody want to rip it?" Like, so it was just another day, just another day for him. And yeah, I mean, he was just, I was like, even to this day, I just still cannot fathom like how he just kept it together, and like the professionalism that guy exerted on the day-to-day basis. Dude, like I said, dude was a straight water walker, and having those mentors and having those instructors was just, it made up all the difference.
Oh, I'm sure.